Thunder Road has long been a staple on the Vermont sports scene. Hi, I'm Jasper Goodman, and on this edition of Good Sports, we travel to the nation's site of excitement to speak with two of the most popular and successful drivers of 2015.
I believe I was just turning 8, and Dad bought Garrett and I a go-kart, and we both had a lot of success. So eventually we both got bigger go-karts and moved up. That's where I learned to be smooth. That's where I learned, you can't just mash the gas, you can't yank the steering wheel. You have to be real smooth and silky about it.
When I first went from the Tiger to the late model, I was pretty successful in the Tigers. I got to the late models, was not successful. But I've always been that hands-on type experienced person. And the more I experience, hopefully the better I get at it.
Is it ever nerve-wracking for you on the track?
Really just when you're strapping up, when you're waiting for the race is the most nerve-wracking time. But once you get those belts tight and they drop the green flag, it's kind of just you're competing from then on out.
Your full-time job is working on cars. Does that help you when you're out on the track?
It makes me aware of adjustments you need to make, all the little things that a race car needs. There's also some bads to it though. You'll know when you go out there what could break, so you have some, not doubt, but you just know a little bit more aware of what could happen.
What is it that makes having a good crew so important?
You can't do it by yourself. Whether it's a flat tire, whether it's a bad handling race car, you can't get out of the car and do everything by yourself.
It's an essential because you're only as good as the equipment you're in and the people you're around.
You need somebody to obviously talk to you, be the mentor. I know my younger brother does a great job with that. Keeps me calm, keeps me settled, so I'm not too big of a hothead out there.
It's just a big orchestra that not too many people get to see. The fans only see you going around in circles. But there's so many little variables that can make a successful team to a not so successful team.
This past month has been perhaps your best ever racing. What's gone right for you? Has it been the car or your driving?
Well, it's a lot of things. First off, my crew stuck with me through the rough months, so I have to thank them for sticking with me. I'd like to think it wasn't just me getting better as a driver. Maybe that's simply how it's been.
Oh, it's been very cool to watch him to grow and to gain the respect of the other drivers and to actually become a winner up here. It's been a great experience and it's been a lot of fun, and it's taken a long time, but it's pretty impressive to have 2 wins this year. It's been great.
We kind of got lucky with some starting spots and some qualifiers, just being in the right lane, and it's worked out for us. The car's been awesome on the outside, and that's been the difference. A win, it feels great in basketball or football, but a win is just, especially at Thunder Road with all those guys, all the big names, just to think that you've finished in front of them is huge. So yeah, it's really, I don't really have words for it yet. It's still sinking in, I guess.
You took home the hardware at this year's Governor's Cup 150. What went right for you in that race?
Everything went right. Anytime you can win a race, everything has to seem to line up perfect. We didn't lead the race the most laps. We ran second most of the time. But everything just lined up. The race worked out the way we needed it to. And I can tell you when that checker flag flew, that was a sigh of relief.
You have had some infamous battles with Derek O'Donnell in the past, and that race was one of them.
Obviously we're rivals. We race against one another. We're competitors. And it's a lot of fun. We can take the gloves off, and he's talented enough when you actually start beating and banging that he can race.
And they're banging on each other again down the front stretch. There's not going to be a single panel straight on either of those race cars by the time they're done. And they touch on the back straightaway as well. It is Sweet on the high side and O'Donnell on the bottom. They come together once again on the front straightaway. Door marks all up and down on each side. Some tire marks in there as well, but give Nick Sweet an advantage as they roll through 4. O'Donnell drives it hard off the bottom. Can he get in there? No, Nick Sweet clears the 60. Sweet to the lead.
I was like, holy smokes, I can't believe I got around him. And I think it put on an exciting show for the fans, and hopefully we have a couple more like that.
If I had to be racing for a win with anybody, I want to race with him, just because I can race door to door with him, beating and banging for a win and have no issues. He's just a really great all-around racer, and he's done it for a long time, and he's the best they come. So he's definitely good competition.
as the laps wore on, I remember almost talking to yourself, like you made sure that you hit, and I've been around Thunder Road a million times, but it's funny when you're leading, it just seems that much harder to make sure you're hitting your marks because there's pressure. Before you know it, the white flag was out, and then after that one, the checkered flag was out, and then I'm talking to Ken Squire, so it was good.
Nick's win at the Governor's Cup this year was his 4th for that race and the 3rd time that he's won it in the last 4 years.
What makes Thunder Road so difficult?
Well, turn 4, that's very difficult. That wall comes very fast.
Turn 4, it's definitely the Widowmaker.
The wall sneaks out of 4 and it reaches out and grabs you.
It's a very, very intimidating corner to come out of.
It's also the most difficult track I've ever raced on, which makes it that much more fun. Just every time you get there, it's a challenge. It's a lot of work. If you notice, the line's very different than any other track. Usually you want to be tucked on the bottom the whole time, but there's so many different lanes you can work at Thunder Road, and obviously working the outside is usually very difficult.
You definitely got to be able to pass out there. I try to pass where there's nobody else, so that's the key. Don't drive through them, but try to go around them, and we try to practice where a lot of people don't go. That way, when you actually have the opportunity to pass them, you can pass them.
You got a lot of cars that are fast here, so it makes you work to get to the top of your game, and you always got to keep working to stay on top. You can never just settle. So it's a big commitment for you and your family and everybody that's involved.
It's a family sport. It's really the most family-oriented sport I've ever done. I'm the 2nd-generation driver. This just pulls everyone in. Everyone loves it. Everyone from the grandparents to cousins that I race with and can compete against. It's really awesome.
Now, last year, the racing community lost a beloved member in Joey LeCaire. Can you talk about what he meant to everyone at Thunder Road?
He put a smile on everyone's face, and just so lighthearted and just so respected the entire LeCaire family, really. Also a family member of mine, so yeah, it was very difficult to lose him. But yeah, no, Thunder Road definitely lost someone special, for sure.
What is it that keeps you coming back every Thursday?
Thunder Road is a very, very special place. I think just racing in general and the history of the racetrack, there's so much excitement there.
Tom Curley does a great job with the show. He keeps everything moving, he keeps it fun. He does a lot of things like Run What You Brung and all these things that keep him coming.
3, 2, 1, go!
I don't know what's in the water in Barrie, but there are some people that get there before I do for every race, and it's pretty special to see. I don't see that anywhere else, so a lot of credit to those people that show up week in and week out.
Just that desire to want to race, and obviously no better than being right here in your hometown, in Barrie, Vermont, with the Green Mountains and the high banks and the Widowmaker. There's just so much history there.
It's hard to go anywhere else, honestly.
Thanks for watching this episode of Good Sports. I'm Jasper Goodman saying good sports, everybody, and good night.